Top morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Deku Was a Leviathan Monster. I know deep down this is going to be just a story, but please, just please. I've seen so many people do like weird moments, things like weird alternate timelines. So, let's begin. So, let me explain a couple things before we jump right into the story. Okay. So, first of all, Zuko, our main character in the story, is he was born as a monster. Like, basically same height as, so, a toddler version of the monster. So, okay, first of all, let me explain this better. So, he is the brother of Emu, not Timu or Emu. I am you. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's this girl. Yeah, the live 108, or no, plus 800 years. So, yeah. And now we move on to, yeah. And so let's begin. So, Emu, who's his parents, was basically before Emu, or no, after Emu, like, basically was born, they had another kid. But this kid was born different from Emu. And they were like, this kid's a monster, a freak show, and all that stuff. So what do? They threw him into the ocean. There, many sea kings comfort him until he was ready. So when he turned, or when he grew to, he was about the same size as a adult. You know how, I forget him. You know how her, like when she was just a toddler, or she looks like or when she was a giant toddler. Well, let's just say his toddler form was a whole head taller than her when she was a toddler. Yeah. So the Sea Kings raised him. And so he learned how to fight. He learned how to have to eat certain creatures. And so one day, he was a kid, but when he was he looked like, or his toddler, or no, his kid form looked like same size as King Neptune. So, yeah. So then King Neptune's wife, or mother, or, yeah, wife, ends up, make sure this is still going, and I'm not basing this on, like, My Hero Academia storyline, but I'm mostly basing this story on, like, One Piece thing. So, it's crazy, yeah. So, so then no one knew, or so the monsters actually gave him a name of, instead of calling him Zuko, it's a leviathan. Yeah. Leviathan. Leviathan. I have to say it because sometimes I mispronounce it wrong, so, yeah. So, yeah. So then, when Neptune's mother, or no, actually, Neptune's wife, I keep getting that confused, sorry. So, Neptune's wife, that is the mother of those four, she was just swimming around, collecting the stems things and trying to clean up the bottom of the ocean. But she rammed right into the lizard's tail, or the back of this monster's. As she never seen this creature before. She has seen multiple, like, sea kings in, like, different varieties. This must be a new one. But when he looks at her, as he looks, because she was so small that she looked so small that even he has to, like, squint to actually see her. And he does not know if he could, like, bite her in half or completely ignores her. So, yeah, he was just a kid. He doesn't even know who's human or who's monster. So, when one of the sea kings came close, right between Zuko, or Leviathan, and her, as the Leviathan knows that, so Sea King tells, or telepathically tells Leviathan that she's the Fishman, Queen of Fishman Island. As he's itching his head, trying to figure out, and as she kind of understands she kind of understands what the monster is trying to, as she's pronouncing herself, oh, and so he was big, like, for being a kid, for him, is like if Neptune was same age. So it was hard for him to see it. So when she invited him to come into Fisherman Island, he comes in, and as he's just walking on a seabed with his tail swishing and swashing. As she knows that she could see some potential in him. So as he looks in, or because how big, it makes the whole kingdom look like a toy pen. As he's itching his head, as when he was just a child, about age of 5 years old, to him it's like, he looks like the same age as the King Neptune thing. I'm not saying anything bad about him, but yeah, I'm talking about his height. So he's itching his head, and so he just like, he did look at her, and he's like trying to not be so wound up. He's also scared, or he's afraid that everybody else sees him as a monster. So when he was 5 years old, he learned how to transform into a human. So when he transformed into a human, he looks more like a teenager, or he looked like same height as a adult. Like same height as her. So basically, yeah. I know yeah. You know how like big things come in small packages? Well, yeah. So this is what he looks like. So when he looks more human than what he was. So no one else knew about he was actually a monster. So Arlong is like, because in this story, Arlong hasn't like basically went to Nami's hometown yet, so. But Arlong is like, huh, human. As Zuko doesn't know how to talk normally. He's always been roaring. As when Arlong Hung punched Zuko, it did nothing to him. But when Zuko returned the punch, it sent Arlong flying with blood spewing everywhere, like knocking him out. As he collapsed. Like, he got put into a coma. Like, basically, I'm not talking about the character that has the pawpaw fruit, but I'm talking about, he's out like a light. As she says, really? Yeah. And he doesn't know how to react to that. Because he only knows how to eat and sleep and hunt. So, and he looks so perfect that even he has a 12 pack on. For being a kid, that's pretty rare. So, yeah. So then he walks as then a time skip. So, basically she had some, she knows, or so he spends time with the fishman. Arlong is still in a coma. And yeah. And then yeah. So then she gathers up enough stamps to make peace between the humans and fishmen. As leviathan could sense, because his senses, when he's a human or a monster, are higher than anything. So when the Jones ends up use a human to shoot right at her, then when he heard a click and bang, right before the bullet came right to her, he ran on stage as he uses his skin and blocks the attack. Or yeah, so he basically saved her life. As he could sense, or he could pinpoint where it came from. As he goes right to where the source was, and he knows who it belongs to, so then he gets the guy name. As yeah, it's scary, I know, but it's just, he says, you're the one that shot and her. But as Jones was just like, how did you know it was me? And Leviathan actually learned how to speak human language. From seeing these people. When he's human, he's practicing in front of a mirror before. So it's the first time he actually used it on someone's, and as they're like, wow, you're talking like a human. Yeah. After all, I've been watching all of you start talking, so I practiced in the mirror of talking. Okay? So she did not die in this story. And then her kids didn't have to cry, and the King Neptune didn't have that outburst thing. So, yeah. Now, we move on to the important stuff. AKA, because he's been, like, hanging around with a royal family, during all that time, she actually fell in love with him. She actually fell in love with him. Like, every time that he hangs around with her or with her family, because, like, during the holidays, he never had that experience with the holidays of the, and the, so it was just weird. So, but her brother thing, it is weird that she, or her, or no, he thinks that her or his sister is grown, like, romantic attached to Leviathan. So when she was like, or actually, he also thought with her or with his brothers, others thought it was also weird that that he's spending way too many times with the royal family on, like, holidays. But so, like, during Ling, Leviathan's first Christmas, he never actually had one before. So he mostly went out and looked around for any food stuff that would be interesting. Because he never actually had a family. So, yeah. You feel bad for this character, yes. And, yeah. So, then, one day, during Christmas time, she finally says, I feel bad for her. Because, don't you think that's kind of weird? That he hunts out at when everyone else is like getting themselves gifts and him just like by himself. Yeah. But then she realized that he did not need to like be so alone. So what does she give him? A gift. And he looks down at the gift. As he pulls the lid off with just his hand reached in, as he sees a necklace that could fit his neck. As he had tears coming down his face, as he starts to tear up, as he's like having so much emotional. Yeah. So she actually, her daughter actually, when she found out that during that moment, she was like, when she heard that he never actually had first Christmas thing. I know I said Christmas, but hey, I'm just randomly picking a holiday, so yes. So then, finally, the day came where she finally swam right up to him, and he didn't attack her. He knows that she's the princess of that Fishman Island. And he doesn't see her as a princess or food or anything like that. He sees her as his own sister. So then, basically respects for her. But finally, Neptune actually told her that she could pick any boy so that she can get married to him. And so she was locked in her bedroom before because of a certain guy named I forget his name. This guy keeps throwing axes, blades, chains onto him or onto her. So, but little did he know that the princess of Fishman Island actually chose Leviathan. So, like, basically, she chose the Leviathan over him anyway. So, but then he also did not notice, but when he looks up, or he turns around, looks up, and sees a monster. At first, he was terrified. And at first. And so, what does he got? Leviathan ends up grabbing him by the entire body and like lifted him over his head and like threw him across all the way across the world. And yeah, into an active volcano. And yeah, Vanderdecken has no chance now. And then he roars. Leviathan roars. So, yeah. As so their mother recognizes that roar. So she basically walks right up to, or she swam right up to where he was at. And so basically, he transforms back into a human. And he is like same size as like a human adult one. And yeah, you don't have to worry about him anymore. I just tossed him far away from here. I don't know where I tossed him to, so I just randomly tossed him. So then, now we switch over to Emu. This girl. Where she was just, or she walked into her parents' bedroom. Like, they were dying from, like, old age. Or, no, they were dying from cancer thing. And so she asks him, or she asked them, like, please don't die on us and or on me. As they basically says, before we die, there's something that we want to let you know. You weren't just a as as they told her that she has a brother. She has a sibling. As when she asked with confusion, like really she really wanted to know like who is, as they told her the name that they were gonna give him of Zuko, but then the monster, or your brother is a monster. So in order to protect you from him, we threw him into the ocean. As she starts realizing with wide eyes, she realized with a shocking expression on her face, I'm trying to zoom in. Okay. With that shocking, or with that face thing, she could not believe that she had a long lost brother. And so she basically, when she sat on the throne thing, because after her parents died from cancer thing, she was like having all these emotions happen at once. As the five elders are just like trying to, like, because they know that she basically tries her hardest to process what they said to about she having a brother. As, yeah. So she asked the five elders and the Marines to pull up any information, any new reports about, like, because as she even says, I wanted to meet my long lost brother. As she transforms into a monster herself. Because, yeah, she was angry that her own parents did not tell her sooner. So, yeah. So then the military guys and the five elders are looking looking for any new information. As the guy or so, but they could hear, or so during the night, she actually, when she fell asleep thing, she was dreaming of a roar, and she could see her brother's monstrous form right in front of her. As she could see him standing there, eating like fish, and yeah, when she woke up in the middle of the night, she saw, or she has sweat going down her face, and she knew who that creature was. As she's putting her hand on his, or on her, or she puts her hand on her face, if it's true about Leviathan and Deku are the same, so that means that it is true. So then, yeah, so she came back onto her throne after that, as many, or so the five elders are like, you look cheerful, or you look a little bit more disappointed. Yeah, I realized that when I was sleeping last night, I saw him. I saw my own brother. Look up the name Leviathan. Okay? As they pull up information that the Leviathan has last been seen near Fishman Islands and all that stuff. So, yeah. She's like, I want to meet him right away. As they're wondering why him in their heads. And then one of them pieced it together. You think Leviathan is your brother? Yes, I know. But I want to see him if it's true. Because, yeah, so they basically went and to Fishman Island. Ezekiel's hanging out with his girlfriend, that he mostly sees her as a sister, her, kind-hearted thing, respects. And Emu walks up and she says, hello, Leviathan, or should I call you my brother? As everyone was confused. Wait. So, as he doesn't remember, this might, I know that you were young. As she tells him, I know that you were young, or when you were toddler, they threw you into the ocean because of the monster form. As his memories flooded back into him as he's trying to remember, but he spent most of his life underwater. As Emu walks over, she kneels down as she knows that as she hugs him and tells him that you're my brother, so. And then he remembers them dropping him from the cliff off to the river or into the ocean. So, yeah. So then he does not even as he realizes that as she understands he's getting confused about how did as she explains it to him full details as she understands that he's been in the ocean so long that even she wanted him to be back with being her brother. So, yeah. It's a huge twist. Yeah. But he doesn't understand that at first. So then, yeah. And so she actually called him by his birth name of Zuku. And he remembers So then they had their bond, like sister and brother type of bond, because and so for her, the pink-haired girl, she actually did not care about his backstory. She actually fell in love with him deeply. So deep that even she did not even care if Emu was a sister to him. So, yeah. And, yeah. And then, so, yeah. Then the time of her getting married to Zuko. And, yeah, it ran smoothly and also a little bit crazy. But, yeah, and she actually had a twin daughter, daughter that inherits both of their traits. But because, this is what it is. So, Zuko is that big, or his monster form, is bigger than her. And then their daughter is bigger than or her own mother, and a little bit smaller than her father's size. And I did some details to her, like on her pink shirt, it says, like, because she had blue outfit on, like, so she has the shirt says hands little monster. Yeah. And Emu was there. And yeah. And one time, actually before the wedding even started, the pirates came. And no, it wasn't Straw Hats pirates. It was some random pirates. And so one of the pirates named Claire, the destroyer pirate, was about to use the big cannon to obliterate the Marines, the Fishman, and any, including Emu, on that island. But little did they know that Zuko was kind of grumpy because he doesn't know how to, because he doesn't have a suit and tie, so, or like outfit thing, so he's just upset. He turns into his monster form, and he realizes it, and he destroys the pirate ship that was, yeah. And so then he comes back to human form. So he ends up basically, he doesn't know how to be in his suit thing. What I mean is basically Zuko doesn't have the suit and tie, basically. So what does his big sister do? She bought him a suit. Or so the military guys actually bought him a suit and tie. So, yeah. And looks pretty cool, and yeah. So then all the epic moments, and yeah. But he still loves his wife so much and respects for her. And because he is a leviathan class, everyone else that is not on Fishman Island are scared of him. Except for his twin sister, or his big sister. She comes and goes once in a while. She comes and visits with him. Because she loves her own brother, and yeah. Plus, with her overprotective big sister moments, and it be proven when the guy, let's say some random pirate that was like, I heard of a leviathan, is way beyond the fisherman's. If we sell him, so yeah, Zuko was unaware that he's about to be captured, as he was in his monster form, and the many villains, or many, or so pirates, actually kidnapped him as he's roaring, like screaming, because, yeah. But when so they kidnapped him, brought him to the black market to sell him to the highest bidder, as one of the Marines reported it in. And when Emu heard that someone stole or like kidnapped her own brother, she got mad, and she used her power, or she first tells the Marines to get her brother out of there. And so they did. As Zuko was sleeping before, because the pirates injected him with so much sleep potion, or no, sleep medicine that even puts the strongest ones as he's sleeping. As Emu knew, as she arrived there with the 5 elders, and he's not even moving. And she's realized, as one of the pirates, or the Marine, slams against a wall, as Emu asked, "What did you do to my brother?" He was fighting back. But then we injected him with this serum, the one that you see before you, right next to him. It's pumping all of that into his body. It will run out when the buyer, as buys him. And one of the 5, or no, the 5 elders are just like disappointed that someone wanted to sell Emu's brother. So what does she do? She tears everyone, all those pirates, up. because she transformed into her monster form, and yeah, the five elders transformed into their mythical monster forms, and they just like went and like pulls the tubes things out of Zuku's back as they lifted him up, and puts him on like the outside, as they know that, because let's say the machine had 4 canisters of the sleeping thing, and I wasn't talking about like small, they were full gallons. Yeah, 1 pound, or like basically 1 gallon of that. So he has to like basically, he would be sleeping for 4 years. Yeah. So what does Emu and the rest of them do? They try to pump that stuff out of his body to create for creating an antidote to like basically to flesh it all out before it's too late. And the emu turns to the black market, and she knows that everyone knows that she's angry at that place. So the 5 elders decided to destroy it. Yeah. So she basically stands right next, or lays with her own brother, and she kind of blames herself for not letting him get captured. As the mini Marines, one strong one says, "It wasn't your fault." Sometimes the pirates have too much secrets. And yeah. Basically she's tries, or so she remembers his family. How's the family doing? Good. As she says that to about Zuku's family, because they know that the Zuku was captured, and the pirates almost tried to get to them, and yeah, all that stuff. And so Zuko woke up after 4 seconds, or 4 minutes later, as he's like a little bit dazed, so his eyes are just like have blurry vision, like how people wake up with like they're not fully awake, they're half asleep type. As Emu knows that Yeah. So, yeah. Basically, he treated, or so he's like, what happened is he's trying to get up, but his body's so, like, out of wax that, and the his sister runs it, or like says, easy, rather. Your body's so numb that even because of those pirates injected you with so much fluids, of sleeping fluids. So, where are they? Did you just bite them off? As she responds by saying, well, no need to worry about them. Okay? Just relax. Okay? And your daughter is okay. And with your wife. Okay? So he goes back to sleep to let it flow right out of his body. And the chef's gnome, as he transforms back into a human, so that as Emu picks him up, sits him on the bed, and she knows that it was a hospital bed before, so it took him a while to get his body back in normal. So then, and she's like, so his wife asks Emo, is he going to be okay? Yeah, it's just they drugged him up so much that even his body is just, he'll be back to normal after a couple days. And so, yeah. But I'm mostly concerned that those pirates might come back for him and rest of you to be sold on the black market thing again, if they ever rebuild. Yeah. As the Marines, like Vice Admiral Volcano and the other admirals agree, is that they won't let that happen. So, yeah. So, Zuko, like, after a couple days have passed, Zuko gets up as he's hungry, or his body transforms into like a monster that wants to eat. As he's goes and out and like starts randomly eating like fish. as the as she understands that, okay, we need to feed him something that he won't go on a rampage like that. So everybody was trying to basically when Emu got told that her brother's awake, but his monster side is out of control. As she's like, what? And she's like, as the five elders says, name, I'll let me go and I'll teach him how. No. It's not, he's not out of control. He's trying to, as she remembers that the product that they injected her into her brother's body was made him hungry after he woke up all groggy and hungry too. So yeah, basically she knows that he's hungry. So she tells the five elders, we need something with actual food for him. He's hungry. Really? As one of them remembers, the product wouldn't just make the person drowsy or sleepy. It also makes them hungry too. So, yeah. So, they cook him up some as the smell lures him in. As he looks down and he sees, as he eats like a crazy man. As they know that as his hunger went away, as he's back to normal, as he's okay, as he's trying to also know how to walk again because of how much they put into him. Yeah, it was crazy. So then, yeah, Zuko, I'm going to leave it off here because it's way too much for all in one video. Plus, if I do my math correctly, push over 1 hour mark. So, yeah, yes. That's what I really wanted. That's what I felt like today. So, yeah. Now, with that out of the way, yeah. So, it was memorable moment stuff. And reason why I'm not doing the what ifs things, just to keep you all updated, was that been hanging out with people and hanging out with my favorite people. So, yeah. If you don't see any uploads for 2 weeks or more, that's a reason why. So, yeah. And yeah, do you like the how I like? It's my original idea before her, where this guy, or so Zuko turns into this monster, or actually Zuko was born as this monster. And do you guys like the My Hero Academia route or the One Piece route? For this, what if I went for like One Piece route instead of My Hero Academia? But tomorrow will be crazy lunatic stuff. Basically, like, and this channel is not like going to be all political stuff. So, whatever I said in this video is mostly respects. Like, pay your respects for, like, romantic movies and stuff like that. So, yeah. I got 10 minutes of content in, so I'm good. Now, bye-bye. See you guys later in the next video. I don't know what it would be called. Peace.